the Forged and Unbroken podcast.
How is that going? How are you feeling?
I feel sharp,
Awesome.
to say the least.
Yeah.
It's the mental clarity, right? The mental acuity to be present, to not be under the influence, and to not be like hindered by X. X is a variable. X can mean anything. So thoughts are clear, not hazy. Better man for it, better father, better friend, firefighter, you name it, man.
Yeah. No, I love that.
It's really the vices, for lack of a better term.
For sure, I get that.
How we're under the influence, or we want to be under the influence, but to escape reality, it's not. As a man, you want to be sharp. You want to be present. Protect, respond, provide. So that program, man, I've done it. This is my 4th go around. The first time I did it, it was a hell of an accomplishment, to say the least. And the second time I did it, I wasn't successful. I failed. And then the third time I did it, I was successful. But this time around, I want to document it to have something tangible. Yeah. Just to, it is possible. It's doable. It's feasible to be a shift worker. And you never know who you're inspiring, man. I love the fact that you use facts and data and evidence.
Thank you.
And it's not really nothing like emotional or opinion based, but the proof is in the pudding, right? The proof is the evidence based research and data, and that fitness is king.
It's really saving what you do, and kind of speaking on what you just mentioned, with vices and having the clarity and sharpness. In that similar vein, something that speaks to me is not being compromised and not being a liability. And I think that, not putting words in your mouth, I feel like it's a very similar vein. And like you said, as a father, as a leader, as a husband, just a member of the fire service community, when I feel compromised or feel like I could potentially be a liability to myself, my team, my family, that like cuts me to my core, right? And I feel like with what you're doing with the 75 hard and then maintaining that sharpness, you're denying that complacency or that liability or that compromise an opportunity to manifest itself in larger ways. And that's huge for what we do and who we're trying to be, right?
100%. Yeah, not being compromised. It goes back to my military days. Assets on the ground, boots on the ground, are soldiers. Yeah. Those are our assets. Our greatest asset is the soldier. It's not the equipment. It's not the weaponry. It's tactics. It's the actual human being, our greatest asset. Liabilities. That goes back to like my military days. And once you're compromised from within, you're fucked.
Game over. Right, the human element, man. It's one of the ugliest pieces, but it's of massive importance, right? Actually, I wanted to ask you about that. I think you at one point mentioned, I think I read in one of your posts that your military service is something that you used to be a part of, and it's not necessarily how you identify it to your core. Now, like you are a person in a different stage and season of your life with, father, husband, firefighter, but I'm sure that plays a massive bit of importance. I mean, you had a season of your life where you spent many years of your life in the military. So how has that maybe changed your mindset or how you operate or see and view things in the world for where you are in the season of your life now?
I want to answer this question because it's a valid question with tact, right? So I'm aware there's evil in the world.
Yeah.
It's prevalent. So having that sense of awareness, having your senses heightened, hypervigilant, serving in the military has given me those tools and that perspective, to say the least, to utilize in my civilian life and now as a first responder. Because we are in harm's way. Far and few calls, but we are in harm's way. That mindset, that mentality of enduring hardship and knowing I could do hard things, right, has transferred over to being a first responder. Because the mindset is, or the perspective is, I've done far more for far less, or I've gone above and beyond with little resources. So this is just how I operate. That's totally transferable into being a first responder. Sometimes we don't have the necessary equipment. Some type of stoic perspective, what is this trying to teach me? How can I become better for it? It's not like, oh, poor me, why me? It's more like, yes, blessed for the opportunity to like overcome and see what I'm made of, see what those around me are made of, and how can we move forward, or how can we come to a solution? That's not so much to focus on the problem, but let's come up with solutions. And the military taught me that.
Yeah, be solutions based.
Right. Okay. Let's stop the bitching and complaining. Let's see how we can solve this.
Yeah.
At the bare minimum, right? Real simple. Okay, got it. This is the problem we have. The task at hand. Let's overcome it. So I could say it. I could speak it with confidence, right? And people, okay, yeah, he's onto something, or yeah, people believe me because I say it with such conviction. Hey, man, enough. Let's just go. Okay, so to tangent off of the military service.
Yeah.
Have you ever burned shit, human feces?
No, no, personally, I have not. No.
So overseas, in our camps, we used to burn human feces.
Yeah.
So you would have a clean uniform, right? BDUs, ACUs, or whatnot, Army combat uniform. Clean. You go, porta johns, human feces, gas, light it up. You gotta stir it because the top only, if there's gasoline on the top, that's the only part that burns. So you gotta stir so the whole thing could evaporate, disintegrate. And then you come back to your quarters, which was a Connex box, essentially a Connex container with just a wooden door in front of it. And now you're covered in soot. But you're not covered in soot, you're covered in shit.
Yeah.
Humanly. And so it's like, man, just going through that. What can I do?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And overseas, apart from the finance, the monetary thing, you're working 24/7. It wasn't because of that. You were over there because of your brothers, and you knew you weren't alone. We're in this together. We're in the suck together. We're here for each other. And that whole liability thing, I was single at the time. I had no empathy, or I couldn't really resonate with the married guys or the guys that had, girlfriends or wives back at home, and they were going through marital problems. Their mental psyche was not there. And like, yo, this he's messed up. He can't go out today. And I'm the medic. I'm a low enlisted soldier telling lieutenants and captains, my supervisors, hey, this guy's a liability. There's no way we're going out. This guy could put us in harm's way. He's not all there. So looking back, I could have handled it like with more empathy, but that wasn't the time and place for it.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's I really appreciate that sentiment. Like, one, there's a very clear chain of command in the military service. Fire service is paramilitary. Like, we kind of fall in line. It's definitely not probably quite as formal, but the fact that you need to maintain some semblance of honor, I'll even say morality within your unit integrity and cohesion, to be able to say like, nah, man, you're not in the fight right now, and we have to have those conversations on the firehouse floor. Like, your mindset is not allowing you to be in the fight. And that's something that transcends the military for us as well. Like, we are absolutely in it. When things go really bad at a certain point, I don't mean to downplay what we're here for the community, but when things go really bad, we are here for each other and our brothers and sisters on either side of us. So when we are checked out, again, going back to liability, like, that is a massive opportunity for bad things to happen. And so for you to be in that position, potentially lower ranking, to say, hey, I think there is a time and a place for empathy, but right now I can't have it because right now it's about the entire team and the one person is going to affect that. That can be a heavy burden.
Well, there's that example. right? Going outside the wire with a member that's not that's not in the fight, like you said, that's on point. Also, when I was a pilot or in aviation, hey, we have a crew member that's not out there. Hey, man, or even myself. Let's say I'm gonna use myself for example. Hey, I'm not out here. My mind is not here, and I'm a liability in the front of that aircraft for my crew members in the back. So to have the the foresight or to recognize, hey, I'm hindered. I'm a problem. I need to remove myself from the environment. That goes to like the individual as well. Asking for help. Sometimes, and just another tangent. At times I've been not 100%, and I've needed to take a knee. Right.
Yeah.
But you have to be aware of that. You have to have that self-awareness. Like I'm not 100%. I'm just gonna sit this one out, and then you guys go ahead. Even in the fire service, now as a firefighter, seeing other firefighters, hey man, are you okay? Are you good? Are you in this? Because the structure fire is unforgiving. A warehouse fire is unforgiving. The elements are unforgiving. Hey man, are you in the fight right now? Are you under the? Are you not here? So there's that. Some guys will tell you, no, I'm good. You can only be so good for so long, man. I mean, till till that cup overflows with whatever's in it. So there's that, because now you're putting my life in danger. Now you're putting me at risk. Or, I'd rather have someone 100% than someone not.
Yeah. Yeah. And that takes an incredible amount of self-awareness to be like, I'm not in it today, and to take yourself out of the fight. And I think people who maybe have not experienced enough struggle or hardship, or been placed in environments and situations where they need that resilience and that mindset to be like, yeah, no, I'm not here today. I'm not saying everybody, I'm not trying to make a global statement here, but I'm not sure how many people actually have that awareness to be like, no, today I am a liability for the benefit of the team and the health of the team. I'm taking myself out. That's pretty big.
That's team over self, bro.
Yes. Mission over me.
That's mission over self. I would always put the mission first. I would never accept defeat. I would never leave a fallen comrade. These are the warrior ethos. I regurgitated it.
I love it.
And it's true, man. It's true. But it takes experience, I guess. I mean, brother, the man you see before you today, I'm 41 years old. I've been a couple places, done a couple things, and I'm not boasting. I'm not saying I'm more than what I am. It's just I've been quiet for so long. I've been quiet. I want to say that one more time. I've been quiet for so long, just doing work, keeping my head down, keeping my mouth shut, to the point where now, like, no, enough. I will not remain silent. I have a microphone. I have a platform. I have stacks of proof, and that I say who I say I am. This is the person I say I am. This is who I am. This is what I've done. This is where I've been. And now I can speak about it with confidence, with conviction, because I've done those things. Because before, for some rhyme or reason, I wasn't confident enough to speak. I stayed to myself. I stayed quiet. I was that dude that I didn't have anything to say. I didn't think I had anything of importance to say. I didn't think I had anything to contribute to the story, to the mission. I just was watching, vigilantly, learning, knowing what not to do. More importantly, okay, that works. I'm going to use that. And then, okay, that doesn't work. We're not going to do that. I often say sometimes saying the wrong advice is worse than giving no advice at all.
Yes.
If give no advice to stay quiet was even more worse than that, is to give the wrong advice. So fast forward, just to get to the end state, I just stay quiet. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But now I can speak from a place of experience and hardship and resilience and perseverance and grit, because I have X amount of years behind me. That now I feel compelled, or I feel confident enough to speak.
Man, that really resonates with me. And I love and respect and have deep admiration for that mindset. You just got a couple years on me, and I feel that. I think so many people might think that it comes off as there's a thin line between that confidence and arrogance, and for anybody to be able to speak confidently and, like you said, with conviction about your personal beliefs, to be able to give back, because it's about being in the service of others. I mean, how fortunate are we to be able to do that, you know? And so I wish that for more people. And it's interesting that sometimes it doesn't happen until much later in life. So the fact that you have been in positions and have been watching diligently and vigilantly to be able to now give back, to speak on whatever platform it is that we have, it's of massive importance. And I wish more people would believe in themselves for that opportunity, because like the rising tides will lift all ships, man. Like, this is a crazy profession. So when we bring each other up, you know, in locked arms, we can do so much more good. Right. So I sincerely appreciate that. Moving forward a little bit now, your service as a firefighter in Florida, man, could you just like really quickly give us the demographics of where you work, like schedule, staffing, like size of department, your position now, and where you're at in the fire service?
Yes. So I work down south in South Florida for a fairly large metropolitan department.
Yeah.
Over 3,000 members, over 70 stations. It's the whole county. The first Class 1 department that oversees over 1,000 square miles.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. Jeez.
Yes. Residents over 1 million. We get everything and anything under the sun.
Sure.
We get dispatched to everything and anything under the sun. If you could fathom it, if you can imagine it, we're responding. I'm just 4 years on. I'm still a rookie. I don't know shit. As long as I have that rookie mentality, I think I'll be good. But I still have years to learn. We do have a member. I'm not sure if you know him, Captain Bill Guston.
Yeah.
He's been around.
Yeah, he just won the Instructor of the Year award at FDIC.
He just received the Instructor of the Year award.
Yeah,
for
that's amazing.
From FDIC. He also has a Lifetime Achievement Award for him, FDIC as well. Still a student of the game, you know. And then I asked myself the question, who am I? You know. So there's that. Did I answer your question? I'm not sure if I answered your question or not.
Yeah, no, that's good. Just like a quick rundown of where you're at, just to provide some perspective. That was super helpful. Now, in our spare times, and then so much of what you've been doing, you know, preaching about embracing hardship in the right way to build resiliency, to build growth. I've been involved in CrossFit since like 2007. I've been an instructor since 2011 and have been like an active coach in my area. And I can wholeheartedly say, like, with data and then just feelings, metrics, that it has 100% made me more proficient at my job, but then it unequivocally has saved my life on probably multiple occasions. And I can actually provide data for that, where it has saved my crew and I, and in some really hard situations. How has that style of training, that methodology, set you up for fireground success and then just success in life?
So CrossFit is functional movements executed at high intensity.
Yes.
That's the definition of CrossFit. When I was first introduced to CrossFit, I was like, oh my God, what is this? I need to have more of it.
Yeah.
Because I was not adequate in the workouts, and I needed to be better, because we train for the known and unknowable. Forging elite fitness. This is how I grew up in the CrossFit, game back in 2009.
Nice.
Back in 2009. And then, well, first of all, let me say that CrossFit gave me the opportunity to become an athlete. I wasn't an athlete growing up, but CrossFit competitions, the CrossFit Open afforded me the opportunity to become an athlete, and where now I can measure or stack my stats up against someone halfway around the world, or even in my local community or my local box. So that was super cool. It had me hooked from the very beginning. Brand was my first workout.
Oof.
Yes. I did not feel well after that workout.
For sure. Yeah, hell yeah. That is probably my most hated workout.
And then I remember not feeling well when I left the box, not feeling well when I got to my house, not feeling well an hour later.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my, I need to be better. CrossFit. I preach it. I lived it. I live it. I live the lifestyle. I was a CrossFit coach for years because I bought into the program. That has all those skills that I learned in the box has transferred and over to being a first responder, training for the known and the unknowable. Technique.
Yeah.
Saving my back.
Yeah.
Being spatially aware of my body and the surroundings and where my body is relative to my surroundings. Super helpful.
Yeah, that kinesthetic awareness cannot be understated. Like when we are, especially when we're training in gear, which I know you're a huge advocate of and are putting out some amazing content. Sometimes your range of motion is limited, right? Sometimes that kinesthetic awareness is not as great or profound. So to have that when you're in the gym and doing these workouts to create the most strength and stability for our joints, and then we put them under a ton of pressure with the gear and the work that we do. And then to do that work also while in gear is just setting us up for even more success. And then also, I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but knowing where your red line is, I know for me was just a massive lesson for what success may look like on the fire ground. Like now I know where I can push to. Now I know what my upper limit is. And I would not have had that without that style training methodology.
Right. So you call it red line. I call it not feeling well. When I get to the point where like, all right, I'm getting lightheaded. Okay, I need to taper down.
Yeah.
I need to pull back on that throttle because I'm going all out. And there's a time and place for that. When you're doing a workout for time or whatnot, but then there's also like AMRAP style workouts. There's also just a workout for work, which transfers over into training. Okay, what's the goal here? What do we have to accomplish? Do we just have to throw a ladder? Is that the task? Okay, cool. I'm just going to throw the ladder the most efficient way I can. And then once that task is complete, moving on to the next task. So yeah, I'm just in awe of like the evidence base that CrossFit has provided, and just to get people moving. We're no CrossFit, right? But the whole TrainInGear mission, the whole TrainInGear movement is just to get people in their gear and move.
Yeah,
that's it, bro. I'm not trying to, profit off of it. I'm not trying to, as naive as that sounds. It's just like, please get in your gear and move, because I know cowardice will set in. When those tones drop, you're just gonna be saving yourself, because you know what? I've been in that position. Like, am I about to go down right now? I'm speaking of myself. Am I gonna be a patient? Am I gonna be the first responder here on location to go down and become the first patient in the fire scene? No, I will not.
Yeah, I
will not do that. So that's what the whole TrainInGear thing is. If I could just sum it up, it's just to get the first responder community moving, because I understand the importance of it, right? Yeah,
it's that Vince Lombardi quote. I think you even said it within the last couple of weeks that fatigue makes a coward of us all, right? And you can tell when you look at a fireground scene of 30, 40, 50 people in gear, you can pick out the ones that are comfortable in their gear and the ones that are not. And just not feeling comfortable in your gear, man, automatic liability automatic setback. And that's absolutely huge. And I love how you're not trying to belittle people. It's a simple, not easy. This is a very simple thing that we can do. It's not easy, but you can go into this with that mindset of, no, I'm just going to become more comfortable. There's going to be a second set of skin, and I refuse to allow it to be a barrier to operations. I love that.
100%. I'm not trying to knock on anyone. I'm my biggest critic.
Yeah.
You can't tear me down, bro. Like I tear myself down.
Yeah.
Because I've seen him in the fire grounds. I've seen myself on the fire grounds, heart rate over 200 in rehab. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I need to get better. So it wasn't that, oh, poor me. I'm in this situation because of this. No. I just need to adapt better and attacking it with the same mindset. Just like a CrossFit workout. You know, a burpee, a thruster, these are movements that for the most part, the majority dislikes.
Yeah.
Well, I thrive in that because I put myself boots on the ground, time after time, rep after rep, just to be comfortable and knowing what a burpee is. All a burpee is get on the ground, get back up.
Simple.
Simple, bro. Just get on the ground, get back up, jump, clap. That's the standard. The standard was chest to the deck, jump up, clap with your hands behind your back, and then rep complete. Perfect. I'm just gonna do that until my arms fall off. A thruster. Not comfortable doing a thruster. I'm just gonna squat below parallel, death, and then jump out the pocket, extend my arms up, use that momentum to carry the barbell or D-bills over my head. I'm just going to do thrusters until my legs fall off. Whatever it is, you have to put yourself in that, time and attention, rep after rep. We're not born knowing anything. We're actually clean slates.
Yeah.
It's your surroundings, who you surround yourself with, and, nature versus nurture type thing. But if I suck, I want to be better. I don't know where that comes from. I just don't know. It's just like, I just want to be the best I can. And I would not be denied because you put in the work and then you will reap the benefits of your work. The more work you do, the fitter you are. Isn't that a testament to a man or a woman, that you could be relied on and depend on when called upon?
Massive
Growing
importance.
up, my man, yes sir. Growing up, watching MacGyver. Remember that TV show, MacGyver?
Yeah.
He can make a parachute out of a stack of papers and a pocket knife. Whatever. We grew up watching those shows, man. And like, wow, I want to learn how to do that. I want to be that guy that, is resourceful. Watching the underdog movies like Rocky and, stories of the underdog, Cinderella Man. These are things that resonate. Watching war movies, Black Hawk Down, We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson, even like Lone Survivor. These are motivating, aspirational like films that you want to like partake in. Like, I want to do that.
Yeah. Man, I love it. Yeah. Yeah. You want to be part of that. You want to be that example.
Yeah. Every single doomsday movie I've ever seen, they have a pilot. Oh, I want to be a pilot.
That's awesome. And then you ended up being that person.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes. You have to put yourself in that situation. You got to jump, right? You see it on social media all the times. When you're scared to jump. That's when you need to jump the most.
Yeah.
When you hate doing something, that's when you have to do it even more. Discipline over motivation. Get up every single day. Be the person you say you are. And that's pretty much it, man.
How has that mindset played into you successfully passing the smoke diver program? And let me back up. First of all, congrats. It's a massive honor and accomplishment. How has that mindset, just played into the success for you passing that program? Because so many people say, I can't do that, or the preparation is too hard. The school is crazy. It's got the washout rate, that it does. You went into it. You can now reflect back on it and all the work, your 41 years of perseverance, of putting in the time, being the man in the arena. Looking back now, what is it? Like, what was that thing, or what was the multiple things that got you into it? I know you're already preaching on it. Like, help the next person that's signing up. Like, what was that?
Well, first off, thank you. Thank you for that introduction.
Yeah, man.
My man, I'll say this from my experience. you have to visualize yourself being a smoke diver before even stepping grounds onto the site.
Love that.
Right. As I was getting ready to prep and apply and, start training for it, I already saw myself on that 6th day receiving my t-shirt, walking through those doors, and the cadre instructors calling out my name. I didn't know the formalities of it all, but I already envisioned myself doing that, getting to day 6, graduating, and then, driving down stuff. So if I was to say anything, I would say you have to already see yourself as a smoke diver to become one. I mean, that's what helped me out. So let me back up a little bit more. The prepping and the training is all online. The YouTube videos you see, I was a student of those YouTube videos, like dissecting, analyzing, preparing, like, okay, this is what's going on here. This is what's going on this day. This is what I can expect or whatnot. There's a template as far as prepping for the actual program. Now, I'll go out to say this. You can't just wake up one day and step on the fire grounds at Dalton and say, oh, I want to be a smoke diver. Here I am. But what you can do is you could wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to start training for this program. And you could get yourself ready, prepare, because when preparation meets opportunity, that's what equals success. So you have to be familiar with the up downs. You have to be familiar with how to train in gear. You have to acclimate yourself to the gear that you're using. You have to be familiar with, you're going to do a PT session in the morning. You're going to do an obstacle course, and then you're going to go for a run, 3 to 5 mile run, as stated on the website. Mm-hmm. So these are things you can control, right?
Yeah,
you can control you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like the expectation has been set, and it's up to you to do the work, and you are doing the work. I want to get kind of philosophical here. Why do you think, if all these things are known and it's just within our control, what is the major roadblock that is keeping so many people from finding their own success here?
Well, as stated by one of the instructors, we suffer more in imagination than we do in reality.
Hell yeah.
Simply stated, that stoicism, that being stoic, it actually is on a reel somewhere on Instagram about Class 64. So yes, you could harp on yourself and you could spiral downward, or you could just start working yourself up and attack it with a ferocity. Like, I'm not going to let this conquer me. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do the work and just let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. And now you can look back on this, and now your scale for hardship has broadened, right? Your 0 to 10 pain scale is now much wider and deeper than somebody else who has not gone through that. And you can reflect back on that and be like, man, I just overcame some hardship. My bandwidth for that struggle now is greater for the next thing that comes in life. And I have more resilience there. And I think to a certain point, once you have some time and distance and space from that event, you can look back on that kind of fondly and be like, that was bad, but that wasn't that bad. Now what's my next challenge? What's my next thing I want to overcome? And a saying that I really resonate with is, behind that mountain is another mountain. That life keeps going to throw you curveballs. So how fortunate are we that we can find and place ourselves in these situations where we can persevere through this hardship, broaden our pain scale, broaden our resilience, broaden our scope of what struggle feels and looks like. And then we can go into the next thing even more prepared and more hardened for that next hardship. And this is just one small example of where you found that success, and I'm sure have broadened what that means to you and how you operate.
Right, as you were speaking, I was thinking, on the other side of fear is freedom.
Yeah.
You'll be liberated. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. Georgia smoke dive was pretty bad.
I appreciate the honesty, man. They're making you work.
There were some moments in there where man, this sucks.
Yeah.
This too shall pass.
Yeah.
Okay, daylight's breaking. Okay, this is going to end soon, type of thing, right? I was like, how much can you endure, right? And I wasn't alone. The thing is, I wasn't there by myself, you know? Mm-hmm. I was there with like-minded individuals, you know, iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. And that point in time, that is exactly the place I was supposed to be. And I was there. Back to just reflecting on preparation and whatnot. Mm-hmm. It took me over a year to prepare specifically for the program, but I'm built for this, man. I get to the firehouse by 6. My gear is on the rig, vicinity 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:15 the latest, checking out the truck, doing my business, handling my business. So that means I got to wake up at 5, commute. These are things that transferred over into the program. Being an early riser, I just wake up early, knock out my hygiene, things from the military as well, you know, mm-hmm. Shower, shave in the morning, you know, put your PT uniform on, get ready to do PT, and then chow. It's not really ingrained, but this is just like muscle memory, habit forming. This is just another day.
Yeah. It's just another day that ends in Y. This is normal to you.
Just another day. I will say the elements, it was uncomfortably cold for me.
Okay.
Even my Garmin registered, congrats, you just train in below freezing temperatures. And I was like, of course. Of course.
Wow.
Of course I did.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Of course I did. But to caveat off of that, if I was going to go through some hardship, I just wanted to suck the most it could suck. Like, I want this to be the suckiest. And yeah, it checked the box for that. But again, man, you have to envision yourself being a smoke diver. For me, that really helped me out. And, you know, hell or high water, I was going to finish the program. And I could say that today with all conviction and being transparent that was my mindset approaching that program. So yeah.
Yeah, no, visualizing success, something over the last couple of years for me, just visualization in general, kind of like, I don't want to go as far as manifesting what it is that you want. There's an element to that, but you are, for a lack of better words, tricking your brain and changing your mindset to see that success through. You know, the stories you tell yourself will become reality. And so when you can do that in a positive way, you are going to be able to overcome greater things. And we see people that get in these downward spirals, the pessimistic, negative mindset, and that compounds and that can drag you further down. I'm not saying be Pollyannic and be the most optimistic, unrealistic person, but that can be incredibly important to have that optimism, to see success through hardship. I think is huge. And having not experienced the smoke divers course, being in other struggles throughout my life, you probably don't want to walk away from that event saying that was really easy or that was too easy and be flippant about it. I think mentally you want to come away from that and psychologically be able to tell yourself, no, that is exactly what I expected it to be. It was hard and I overcame it and I saw success. You don't want to water down your own success. So I admire that you're like, no, I went into this knowing this was going to be hard and it was hard and I still succeeded. I think that's more powerful.
A couple of thoughts come to mind as you were speaking. You know, without a war, the warrior might as well be dead. Right? So we're constantly, or at least for me, I'm constantly seeking a challenge, some type of, a goal, something to train for, something to give me some purpose, a mission. That's how I'm built. And another thing, so by no means am I a yes man, right?
Yeah.
If you're dicked up, I'm gonna say, hey man, you're going down the wrong path or whatnot. But I do encourage. Yeah. Dreams, adventure, what have you. Like, hey, you can do that. Yeah, that sounds sound. Go for it. Hey, man, I believe in you. That goes a long way, man.
Yeah.
Because I've been discouraged in my life.
Yes.
I don't want to do that to someone else. You know, oh, I have this and this going on. Oh, you're always up to something. You're always doing that. I don't need that in my life, man.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't do that to people because I don't want it done to me. With all respect. Now there are things that are dangerous that I would like. Yo, I highly recommend you don't jump off that bridge because, you know, that's dumb.
Right.
But as far as encouragement and positivity and just spreading that gratitude and being grateful and, you know, life is truly a blessing. That's how I am, man. It's not like I'm fluffing or blowing smoke up your ass or, you know, that's not who I am.
Yeah, no, you're being real, and at the same time, you're still picking up the men beside you. And I think I'm not trying to get too emotional about it, but like we as men need to pick each other up for sure. I think there are times and situations where we can be our own worst enemies, and to have another like-minded man in your corner is just a force multiplier, right? To feel yourself being picked up by other like-minded individuals, and then to be able to place that strength in groups. Like I said, it is that force multiplier, and we can do so much more good for each other when we set that same expectation for ourselves. And like, but you said, like, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to call you on your shit if you need it. And I expect you to do that with me. And at the same time, I'm going to celebrate your wins. And like you said, iron sharpens iron, man. We need more of that, because it all goes back to the mission at the end of the day. Like you said, it's mission over me. So when we have all of us doing that, all of ourselves picking each other up and keeping each other real and in check, I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah, well, I've needed it.
For sure.
You know, I myself have needed it.
Yes.
I've taken a knee, and I've had men pick me up like, hey, we got you. There's nothing more powerful to another man to say, I got you.
Yes.
What do you need? I'm here for you. I'm not going to run away. I'm going to stay and play. We'll figure this out. Finally. Wow. Damn, bro, I thought I was alone. No, my man, you're not alone. I got you. What's going on? Like, talk to me. All right, let's solve this. I've had that done to me. Mm-hmm. You know? Changed my life.
Yeah. Man, I got goosebumps, man. That's super powerful. I wish more men have experienced that. Like, seriously, that's real talk right there. Yeah. Now, talking about like setbacks, like you just mentioned some of the literal ones of, you know, getting picked up, but then also things like suffering injury, or it may not be something massive. It can just be a minor setback. It can be the lack of sleep. I mean, we're fathers, right? So when you're managing like kids through that toddler stage and you're trying to support your wife, like there's a lot of things, there's a lot of exterior noise that can come in and mess with your psyche, mess with your body. How have you managed that? Like, I know for me, it's like a daily discipline of things that are like the non-negotiables, right? What does that look like for you? How have you managed that throughout, you know, military, fire service, what you're doing now with your mission and in life, as a human being?
I'm going to be totally transparent.
Yeah.
Back in 2005, I weighed over 200 pounds. July, August timeframe. Hurricane Katrina passes through South Florida en route to Louisiana. You know, it goes on to break the levees, and now New Orleans is underwater, whatnot. A week prior to that, I was riding my crotch rocket, my Honda 600 RR, and I went down. I separated my left shoulder, separated my right ankle, and now I'm in a cast, a sling, and I'm over 200 pounds. When the hurricane passed through South Florida, it knocked out the power in my apartment. I had tits. I had man boobs, and I was sweating under my man boobs. And I go like this to wipe the sweat off of my chest, and I was so disgusted right then and there. It was like an epiphany. I need to change. I'm going nowhere fast. I'm doing nothing with my life. Who do you want to be? Right then and there, I started doing my research. started looking up stuff, Googling. I went online, how to train, how to work out, how do you lose weight, etc. That was '05. Fast forward, beginning of 2006, I enlisted in the Army, and I get sent off to Missouri, and with a insigniator, a designator as a combat medic. So with no prior training, no prior medical experience at all, I enlisted in the Army, and I went on to become a medic. That I've applied to the rest of my life. I don't know something, I'm going to look it up, I'm going to do my research, and then I'm going to move forward with it. Every single thing that I've done is because I've decided I want to go over there. I'm going to do every single thing I have to do to go over there. Every single task, check off the box, go through that red tape, and come out on the other side. If I want to walk to the top of the mountain, I need to take a step, run in front of me, take a step, one foot in front of the other. And just having that confidence that, the military, it gives you purpose, accolades, you achieve things. I would have never been able to achieve the things I've achieved in the military on the civilian side. I didn't have access to it. So knowing that I could do those things, having that mindset to apply myself, I guess application of yourself. If you apply yourself to a goal, by all means, do it.
Yeah, you talked about also like that embarrassment as a motivator. Like I certainly had those moments in my life, like in sports, where I relied on talent and not the hard work. And then as I got older, that switched on me. Like I became a small fish in a big pond, and my talent wasn't going to cut it anymore. And even on the physical side, like our teams would go out and do Indian runs. I'm in the back of the pack trying to sprint to the front, and I'm just dying. And that embarrassment, I could have internalized that and let it crush me. I could have given up. And I think too many people do that. Whereas it was like, no, that embarrassment fueled me. And I think it's probably similar to, it resonates with me because I feel like it's a similar story to you where, no, I think we're aware enough that, no, here's an opportunity for me to change myself and become better and do the work that's necessary to not just rely on the talent, or not just to be stagnant where I'm at in life and in this space. And sometimes that's a good thing when you have the support network, or just maybe you don't even have the support network, to have the discipline to be, and the awareness to be like, nah, I'm messing up. I'm going to use this fuel for good and change my course in life here. Is super powerful. And so I've just like, if anybody is in that same position, man, use that embarrassment for fuel for good. Don't let it take you to a negative route for that.
One thing fitness gave me was confidence.
Yes.
Through hard work, because I've seen the results of hard work just through fitness. You can't, I guess you can, but you can't really buy a fit and athletic body. You have to work for it.
You have to work for it.
Right. And it was in the Army where I discovered fitness as therapy or empowerment. How if I could run fast and I could do push-ups, a lot of them, and I could do a lot of sit-ups, I'll be in the top tier. So that I want to be up there, and the work ethic speaks for itself. Right. Was I saying you see a fit and athletic man? I could tell he has several traits: the trait of discipline, the trait of resilience, the trait of grit. Yeah, man, that's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, fitness, bro. I always read fitness. You could, any monkey could put water on a fire. Okay, I don't want that misconstrued. But fitness would take you a long way. Right?
Yeah, there's no downside to it. There is no downside.
Right. Yeah.
With where you're at in life, and it's from what little bit I've known about you and what little bit we've been able to connect over this time that we've had together, which I sincerely appreciate. I can tell that you have been working in the shadows, in the dark, so to speak. Like, you're not necessarily have had, years and years and years of a social media presence and like, look at everything I'm doing. You have put in incredibly hard work throughout your life. And like you said, now at your age, where your stage, like, no, I have something to say, and it's going to be used for good. I know you have your hands in a lot of different projects with like your own page, TrainInGear, and like all the Uncivil stuff, man. Could you just walk us through, as I know we're getting close to an hour and we'll start to wrap this up, just what those projects are, what it is that you're trying to put out there, and how people can support you and the causes that you're involved in, and just like what hand you have in that and where that came from.
So the whole TrainInGear mission, lifestyle, came from a weakness of mine. It was a deficiency. I just call it what it is. I was not good. I'm not good in gear. How do I get good? TrainInGear. Because I was aware that you could put the suit on and you could do some work, and then eventually the heat that's trapped inside that gear.
Oh yeah.
The elements down here in South Florida, the heat, the humidity.
It's brutal.
Yeah. So it is not mine. It's a community-based page on Instagram at TrainInGear. And people have been training in gear long before I was in the fire service. People will continue to train in gear long after I depart the fire service. But I do see an Achilles heel, and the only way to get better in our profession is to train in gear at a minimum, because you will delay that cowardice, right? As compared to not training in gear. You think you're just going to show up, get in gear, and do work?
Doesn't work that way.
I'm a tactile learning. I'm fully aware of that. So I have to learn through hands-on application and experience. And so the more I'm aware of, I guess, my red line, right? My limitation. Once I get to that point, I'm not feeling well. Can I move the needle a little bit more? Can I move past it? Or should I just like call it and then throttle back? So there's that. What we've done with TrainInGear is that we've reached out to several people, and now they're programming the TrainInGear task. So it's not from a singular perspective, it's from multiple perspectives. And awesome. What people feel, right, what is their hindrance? Because the greatest teams I've ever seen assembled are from different facets. Mm. Your strength is my weakness. And hopefully my strength is your weakness. That way we complement each other.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it does me no good to have a similar person with similar strengths and weaknesses, because we're all just, fatal funnel, and then we're just dying the same, So I'm aware of that. Yeah, at TrainInGear. Mm-hmm. Also, that methodology, that mindset is successful, has given me success in, whether it be smoke divers or in my very own profession, and where on the fire grounds, you are able to last and able to do work and delay rehab and do more work, switch bottles, and then go back to doing more work, because that's what you want.
Yeah.
The fitter you are, the more work you could do. I always say that.
Yes.
As far as Uncivil apparel, the apparel line, so it's not just me, it's my team. I have a team that believes in me, and then they run my social media platforms. They run TrainInGear, they run Uncivil apparel. I just run I am Erik Vidal on my Instagram. Okay. Which is, that happens to be my name. So, for example, some people say, "Oh, I reached out to you, I hit you up." Oh, no, you didn't. No, yeah, I talked to you at TrainInGear, or will it be Uncivil apparel? Like, oh, okay. No, man, that wasn't me. That was my team. But yeah, I run my page, and then my team runs the other pages. We're not trying to force anything, right? If it resonates, cool. Thank you for the support. We'll support you back in every which way we can. And then if it doesn't resonate, cool. Just keep on walking. Yeah. I mean, no harm, no foul. We're not trying to impose ourselves onto anyone. We're not trying to like force it down your throat, and when we're not doing that. That's not who we are. That's not who I am. Some things I don't agree with, I just keep on scrolling, or I pay no mind. I'm not going to sit there and make a point of view or get into an argument with you just because we disagree on a topic. Like, okay, we could disagree.
Yeah.
Cool. You have your opinions, I have mine. I've defended this country so you could speak your mind and I could speak mine, right? So it's cool. I really don't want to impose myself on my views or mindset onto anyone. It's one of those things, like, if you know, right? I don't have to justify my actions or whatnot.
Yeah, that takes a ton of maturity in life, but I appreciate that. I wish more men and women operated that way, right? Hey, what I got here, I think it's doing for good. If you like it, awesome, you're part of us. And if not, you can just keep walking. You can take it or leave it. I don't need to jam it down your throat. And it's a lot of maturity that a lot of people don't have.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that, the compliment. I don't want to make myself seem more than what I am, right? I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes in my life,
Sure,
I'm trying to correct them. I'm trying to do the right thing. I know better now, so I'm doing better now. But because of those mistakes is the person I am today. But again, I'm not that person anymore, so I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm going to move forward, So yeah, it's taken me a long time to get to where I'm at this point in my life, and now that I feel I have a story to tell, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna speak it.
Oh yeah, no man, I so appreciate that. Man, I want to thank you because it was it's almost a year and a half now. I started like the Forged and Unbroken Fire platform and all of its and learning curves and all kinds of stuff. And Forged and Unbroken is a direct nod to my CrossFit methodology, and then just wrapping that up into the fire service. But starting out, sometimes you feel like you're on an island, and it can be social media can be a very weird place. And so kind of in the same boat, having my experiences and trying to use them for good. There were some people that came out the gate and supported me, and we have never like physically broken bread yet. But right out the gate, like you and your team and your crew have supported me in my message, and I hope that I have done the same for you. So to whatever degree that you have been able, like you've just been an amazing advocate for the fire service, for health and wellness, for that growth and resiliency. And man, I am so humbled that you have allowed me into your little bit of space, man. It is a massive honor. It's a responsibility that I do not take lightly. The fact that we get to share this space together, and man, anything I can do to help support you in the future, with what little bit of what I've got, man. I'm a small fish in a big pond here with just the fire service and the social media and whatever else. So, the fact that you took an hour out of your day to come hang out with me, just a random guy from Maryland, man, it really means a lot. So, by my heart, man, thank you. And, I don't know, I'm interested in seeing where all this goes, man, to be able to connect with guys like you. I make my way down to Florida in your area every so often, with family down there. So, we'll next time I'm down, we'll have to connect. So yeah, thank you.
Two things. First of all, when I saw Forged and Unbroken, I knew exactly what I was looking at.
Yeah.
If you know type of thing. And I just want to give you your flowers and your due respect, man. You're doing evidence-based, right? And that's amazing. I think we need that. We definitely need that in the fire service. We need that in the first responder community. And I'm just a man, bro. I'm not the same. I'm on the same wavelength as you are.
Yeah.
So we're all just trying to do our part, right? Leave it better than we found it.
Exactly.
And why do you do it?
Yeah.
Why do you do it? So thank you, sir. I'm honored.
Yeah, no, thank you, dude.